Hey guys. Hey guys, how are you? How is everybody? Good to see everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Got a big show for you today, guys. Big show for you today. Let's see who's in here. So I got Milk, Honey, and Mayhem. That's Jamie. I got Janae. How you doing, Janae? And Kathleen's not here. She had something to do. And I got Sizzle. Well, I got all of 10 people here. So yay for us. Guys, we'll give it just a minute. We'll have a few more people show up, no doubt. I haven't done a live stream at this time, so I don't really know who's going to show up, but I got a lot of things to talk about. Everything from Kurt Cobain to Sophie Cunningham. What do you think about that? Here we got people coming in. I got to put the air on. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Pardon. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm really sorry about that. Forgive me. Forgive me about that. How you doing? See, I was sweating a little bit. All right. Penelope, how you doing? Ron? Opus. I was thinking of you, Opus. How you doing? Yeah, Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin. What's the other one's name? Her friend, or I don't know. I'm going to show you some stuff. We're going to have a good time, but we're going to talk about some serious stuff as well. So we'll just give it a moment. Marshmallow. How you doing? PJ? I don't see PJ. My neck. I'm sorry, guys. I don't see PJ here. But Rainbow Ribbons, Not My Monkeys, PJ Lee, there she be. I'm a poet and I know it. How is everybody today? Good? Doing great, along with everybody in the ARC. Cool. All right, guys. So yeah, I got a pretty good show, I think, as I try to get this thing together. I put up some videos this morning. I think 2 Gypsy Rose videos, right? I think so. She was called out. She made 2 phone calls, and those FOIAs are out, and we're reevaluating. And hindsight's 2020 when it comes to her, isn't it? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Just tired from the heat, right? Yeah, I'm sweating now too. Hoping I can. I don't know. Maybe I really want to go on a long walk. Not really that familiar with the area, but we'll see what we could do. I just want to make sure I get back from it too. All right, guys. So, yeah, I'm ready when you are now to those people that are in the bushes. Hello. Good morning. All right, so I got a few things to cover. The first thing I want to cover, with the help of YouTube Streets, the
Cyrillic even stay.
So listen to this, guys. This is a real sweating with the oldies, right? Richard Simmons. Somebody told me to check out that video. It might have been Jameson. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button. Yeah, because Kathleen's not here to remind you guys. Jamie, Uncle Alert. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that, Opus. All right. This is YouTube Streets. It's really short. It's just because something came up. I loved him on General Hospital. Remember when he was on General Hospital?
Out of trouble for 45.
He was with Bobby Spencer, remember? She passed away, I heard.
5 days.
So did Luke. You know that Luke passed away? Did you know that he was gay? I didn't know he was gay. He passed away. He lived in Holland, I want to say. All right, guys, check this out. So Mackenzie Shirilla, she might get a second chance at a trial. They are gonna consider her habeas corpus.
That is part of the conversation we're gonna have tonight.
Watch.
This is New Age Plug, YouTube Streets Podcast. We are here. Let's get it. Smash the like button when y'all coming in. You already know the rules, man. Let's get to it. So Mackenzie Shirilla, obviously, we talked about this on the last live, but she got a small victory. And
listen up. Hey, Penelope, I wouldn't lie. I would not lie. I'm sorry, man. My nose. I probably have
her habeas corpus is actually going to be reviewed. The state's got 45 days, so this might be a blessing and a curse, but at the same time,
they're going to consider it.
It's giving her something that she shouldn't have, and that's hope.
That's right. That's right. Why does she get hope?
Mackenzie Shirilla is now sitting there with hope. But this is the thing. She and me and DBS, I don't know. I think he literally just
Hey, Lala, how are you? How are you, Lala?
fell asleep as we're backstage. I don't know. We were just talking 10 minutes ago, right? But it's honestly like he was saying this to me because he did time for what he was in. He was locked up, and that feeling of being so anxious of what's going to happen.
Yeah, because this is what he's saying. One of the guys was in there that he co-hosts with, and he was doing time, and he had things up in the air, going up in the air. So it's kind of like she was ready to do 15, yes, but now it's like, oh, I might get out. But she's already messed up. She's already got some bad behavior. That shit's going to show. You know what I'm saying? So she might not get it. This is just a consideration. It doesn't mean she's got it. I'm glad that you're here too. I'm glad that you're here too. Thank you.
It's almost like Mackenzie Shirley's in a trick bag. Because she's got to avoid all the drama, at least, just in her mind, thinking that she has something in 45 days. We are here. Smash it up. Smash it up.
Yep. She's thinking she's got something to look forward to. Maybe she's going to get out. I
have the link to the panel too at the top too. Anybody can come up. But also something that crossed my mind today, and honestly, if we look back,
there was a few things. So we're not really sure what it was.
Mackenzie Shirilla as a minor, the fault of her behavior and everything that's going on.
Who have we said it was? Who have we said it was?
On with her as an adult now.
Exactly.
It definitely has.
This is all thanks to the Shirilla family here.
Just put it this way: the Shirilla family has blood on their hands.
And I agree with that. I agree with that because they raised this little monster.
Now, this video we're going to be playing in a second kind of breaks this down to a T.
We're not going to play the whole video. We're not going to play that video, in all honesty, because we already know that it's the family that's malfunctioned and that they produce such a demon spawn.
Play it.
Did I say that? Oh, well. I'm not doing anything. It's their video.
Play it, bro.
What do you think's going on with Mackenzie Shirilla's parents, Natalie and Steve Shirilla? Well, after watching The Crash on Netflix, something just seems off.
Damn dead. Is that what you're saying? Look at me. Is that dead?
Don't you think? Or maybe, if you're like me, it's not one thing, it's a lot of things.
I knew she smoked dope. I don't have a problem with her smoking dope.
Now, when you dig
one of the men over here.
The story of Mackenzie Shirilla.
Here's the point.
No, pause it. Pause it. He had a problem with way more than that. He didn't have a problem.
That's the problem. See, he should have had a problem with her smoking weed. One, it sets an example. She was way too young. Okay, she already was totally irresponsible. You co-sign that, it murkied the waters.
With nothing she did. That's the issue, Steve. It started with dope.
Asia,
dope is just the gateway to everything else that you allowed her to do. Ultimately, go live with somebody as a minor. That's another thing we don't.
Janae, we're gonna see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens.
Talk about, you dumb motherfucker.
There you go. He said it plain and simple. Stupid Steve. STOOPID.
Now, when you dig into this story, the story of Mackenzie Shirilla and the deaths of Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan, the crash itself is horrifying. But after watching the documentary and learning more about this story, I think it's Steve and Natalie, the two.
They're horrible people. I mean, absolutely. I get fighting for your kid's life, but you know that there's no POTS except POT.
People that raise Mackenzie, that keep you up, thinking and wondering, because there's a broken loop there. It's like an unfinished lyric or a missing piece in a puzzle that's almost.
Yeah, but we know what it is. Low test, Steve. I like that. Big shout out to AG Tactical. Yeah. Anyway, this guy, he's a lawyer, but he says everything that we've already said, that this is the parents, and the parents failed. The parents have failed, and that's where that problem is. That's where the problem is. Okay. So that has failed us. I don't think Mackenzie is behind everything her parents do. She is the puppet master, in my opinion. I can call him that too. Janae, I think she's right where she needs to be. And as far as I'm concerned, her parents could be right there with her, but not in the same cell. They shouldn't have that kind of family reunification. All right, guys. So I have a lot to go over today. So hopefully you guys will work with me and we'll get some stuff done here. So there is a new case, but we're going to get right into now the latest on Perez.
Devin and I have been doing some digging,
So this is from TMZ, and they just have a little bit of background stuff that led up to what happened.
kind of, trying to get a better idea of what this past year has been like for him. And what we're both hearing is that
So this is just, again, what led up to perhaps what happened 2 nights ago.
Has had a lot of financial issues somewhat recently. Obviously, he was hospitalized, had a lot of medical bills, but he recently made a move from Las Vegas to Miami. We're told that when Perez was in Las Vegas, he was living
in Las Vegas.
He was living in Las Vegas. He was treated like a king. In Vegas, they would comp everything for him because he was their local celebrity. But then when he made this move to Miami recently,
now, guys, I'm sorry, but he was their local celebrity. No, Las Vegas has residences, as we know, right? So local celebrity, in my opinion, is going to be somebody like maybe Donny Osmond, who's there, who has a local residency. Celine Dion was there years ago. She had a residency there. Perez Hilton is an influencer. I don't know. I guess it depends on what you call celebrity, how you just do that.
They don't comp like that in Miami. And we know that
they're saying was that what they're saying was that he got everything for free, right? Yeah, like he got everything for free. And when he moved to Miami, they want you to pay for it.
I've been telling some people that he was frustrated with a lot of that. It was affecting him financially. So
he was literally living off the comps?
I mean, it helps. It helps. It helps when you go to a restaurant and they, put on the white gloves.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I'm serious. If he's not paying for food and he gets to do that, that's,
They open the door for you and pay for your meal, pay for your hotels, pay for anything that you need, maybe drivers. But when you go to Miami, they just don't do it like that over there. It's the new LA where people are wanting to be there. They're wanting to be seen, and you got.
So you see, he wasn't ready to just be a little guppy in a big ass pond with saltwater sharks.
To do that on your own dime. Of course, if you're Tom Brady, it might be a little different.
But
he just wasn't getting that red carpet treatment like he was back in Vegas.
Another factor that we know is that the move took a very emotional toll on him, in the sense that he really liked living in Vegas.
So apparently he liked living in Vegas. I wouldn't. I didn't.
However,
I don't like it anytime I'm there. I think it's actually hotter than Florida. And where's the beach?
Older mom, who's originally grew up in Miami, wanted to go back to Miami because a lot of her family's there, their family's there. And so he kind of prioritized his mom, who wanted to be in.
Exactly. And listen, where he lived in Miami, it's a nice area, I guess, but it just looked, I don't know. I haven't been in that area in years. It was a nice area, but, Miami has changed.
Miami, she hated Vegas. So he thought long and hard about it and said, listen, my mom's in her final years of life.
So he wanted to move there more for his mom.
This is what she wants, and she wants to be closer to her family.
So she was with him in Vegas?
Living with him in the house that
was she taking care of the kids with him?
Yeah, my understanding
She was with the kids when they returned.
Oh, Lady K did what? She put up a video about people putting up their children's photos and stuff like that. Hillbilly thought it was because she had a couple of videos of her own children up. Who the hell knows?
To the house.
I don't even pay attention.
While he was inside, because they showed up to the house.
The kids did?
Yeah, the kid. I was told from by
at me, Toddie, at me for putting pictures up. Of
neighbor
kids?
That the kids, and they believed, they didn't know who he was at the time, but the woman that was living with him at the house, which I believe is the mom, they showed up to the house when all this was going on.
Do we know what the status is with the kids? Because I would think that
I don't really care what they say. I don't put up pictures of kids. This man was on social media. He put up pictures of his children. They're up
Somebody
there.
is going to try to get some kind of guardianship at some point.
I mean, you would have to imagine it's going to be his mom.
Well, he's currently a baker.
But how old is his mom?
I mean, his mom, I'm not exactly. She's elderly, but she's the one who helps him take care of the
kids.
He has a lot of stuff. That's right. I believe TMZ, man, they're just looking for content. Haven't you seen their numbers, my friend? Don't worry about it, Jamie. I know what I do. I know what I do. I know what I do. So no worries about it. Anyway, I believe TMZ. I think that they have a lot of stuff that's true. I mean, maybe they have some stuff that's wrong, but I think a lot of the stuff that they say is true, and usually they're the first ones on things.
I mean, he's currently Baker acted right now, so that means a 72-hour self-evaluation psych hold. So she will have the kids for that period, but it's unclear if she's going to file for full guardianship.
And if she gets full custody of the kids, to the kids, it wouldn't really be anything out of the ordinary because we know that she's...
Okay, so here there's talking about who's going to get custody of the kids. It's not permanent custody. I don't believe it's permanent custody. And okay, the mother's 88. She had the kids at the time, but he has a sister that worked for him and that lived close to him, I believe. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that they're loved and that they have a whole family. God forbid if something were to happen to him, what were they going to do? Give the kids up? So I'm sure that there's something that he, you know, has for his children that, you know, his children will be taken care of.
She was taking care of the kids
since
anyway.
they were
But he also
really
has
young.
a sister.
Absolutely horrible what they're going through, and with this stuff that's being leaked online and such. God, you don't want to see anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be forever. That they'll be able to see their dad like that forever, and that's just.
So she could possibly.
Yeah, I don't think that he was really. I don't think he was doing this for attention. I don't think he was doing this for money, because this is something that his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren will see someday. So,
Well, see,
true.
how active was he with his
I believe it's the same surrogate, but I don't know if the mother's in the picture.
website?
He
Because
has a good relationship, it appears, with his mother and his sister.
I thought there was a time when his sister was kind of running it.
So I don't know what he actually did with the website currently, but like he basically is like an influencer now, where he has a strong following on social media and will post and talk about the story. I mean, he was just talking about Ariana Grande, like stepping.
Yeah, so I saw that video where he was talking about Ariana Grande and how Ariana was stepping away because people were talking about her looks and how thin she is. She looks incredibly thin, and something to do with the designers drawing attention to how thin she was. So guys, chew with your mouth shut because I can hear you, please. Sounds like a content creator of ours. Watch, that'll be an hour-long video, that one. You should be paying me for content. Okay, so I think that for real, the parent, his mom is going to be there, the sister's going to be there, the kids are going to be okay as far as this goes, but unfortunately those pictures are out there, and you know, I'm not 100% sure that this guy or people should have enjoyed watching him in his mental breakdown. This wasn't anything that I think he was doing for a grift or trying to do for attention, because I would think that he would have thought about his children and his mother seeing these videos. Everything on live stream is out there forever. I mean, we all know that. Anything you put out there, it's out there forever. So he knows that. And as far as I believe Jamie, she watched it. Everything was on display. So, I mean, I don't know how well endowed he is or how great his body is, but to be honest with you, seriously, that's forever for anybody to see. So, no, I don't think he needed money that bad. I don't.
Away a day before, so.
And was there any evidence of him looking distressed?
I don't want to see it either.
Actually, I spoke with somebody that saw him just 2 weeks ago at an event in Miami, and they said that, you know, recently he had found God.
So this is it. This was 2 weeks ago, guys.
Again, and at this event, he was trying to, you know, hobnob it with the people in Miami. Again, he's trying to find his footing there, and he was very like his conversations. Conversations were very Jesus focused.
Sure. Not 100% sure, drone leader, if he had medication changed up or what.
They said he seemed fine, but, you know, one thing they did notice about him was he was very much about God in a lot of his conversations.
Before he left, I know I talked to someone.
Okay, so he was preachy, and we've heard that. And I did a live stream with Kathy yesterday where we talked about him and religion and such. And she said that she used to watch him, and then she just thought that he was just too cruel. And then she started watching him again years later when he was covering the Nick Reiner case, the Rob Reiner case, you know, where Nick unalived his parents, supposedly, allegedly, but that's what it looks like. And she said that his whole tone and whole demeanor had changed, and he was actually a better person. You know, he was a better person for it, and that he was somebody that was showing love and compassion and stuff. And so she started watching him. And then when he went through his sepsis and such, she said that he changed literally overnight. She saw that. All of a sudden he had this belief in God that he didn't seem to have before. You guys should check out that live stream we did yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting.
And that before he left Vegas, they were saying that behind the scenes, he was very stressed about money and really hustling and looking for different ways to make money. And they didn't know if that was due to the mounting bill.
Let me tell you something. Where he lives in I don't care where you live in Miami, to be honest with you. It's expensive. Miami is expensive. Just fucking home insurance alone is expensive because of the hurricanes that are there, because of the crime that's there. It's a really expensive place. I don't think living in west of the beach and east of the other one, like sitting in the middle of like, there's nothing there. I mean, and I can't be objective when it comes to Florida, but a part of me really loves certain parts of Florida. I do. I watch videos about it and reminisce in my mind a lot. But then there's parts of Florida that are just so overly populated, and there isn't anything beautiful. The palm trees once upon a time, but then they went through this disease, and a lot of the palm trees died, and I don't know. It's just totally different. It's totally different. But where he lives is very expensive. The houses aren't, you know, they're not worth the money, in my opinion. And now he's got to pay for everything. The cost of living in Miami is higher. I don't think that they have property tax, right? They don't have state tax there. That's all right. They got the
from the hospital
insurance,
say or what, but that was kind of his vibe before he moved to Miami.
And now he's got to make himself, you know, he's a guppy again.
This is
in a
really
shark-filled-
Hey, Harvey, our chat is wondering, you guys got a lot of reporting. They're wondering if you guys heard from TikTok on why they allowed his
Okay, so here's another thing. TikTok lies, in my opinion, and I'll tell you
video to go on for so
he is in a gated community, I believe.
So TikTok said there were a lot of people who were saying that this was
But I don't know.
going on for 30 minutes. TikTok is saying not the case, but
Yep.
they got like an automatic notice something was going on.
They have moderators that moderate every single live stream.
But the moderator didn't work.
Yeah, something happened here. See, and I've heard this, and some people have said, like Kathy said, she really never heard of that phenomena after you leave the hospital. But enough of you guys, and I looked into it, and she might not have, it might not be common, but it definitely can happen for sure.
What happened is that I think
because all of everything changes. Your whole
it kept
system
getting
changes.
crashed and then coming back on, and several other people.
Now, somebody wrote in Morbid's live stream last night that it was 34 minutes that this stuff was going on for live. Somebody else wrote 32 minutes. TikTok's trying to say
Those live streams were like combining with Perez's because they were doing some sort of collab where you can request.
But what I was told was that when they realized what was going on, the moderator should have immediately taken.
Right? That would be TikTok. Here's the problem with the moderator taking it down immediately. What if they would have taken it down immediately? What if he would have ended his, you know, I mean, like there was so many people on that stream trying to help him and talk him through it. I think that in a sense that was a good thing. It ended up okay. He's alive, you know, and he's getting care. I don't know what would have happened the other way, you know?
Taken it down, but for whatever reason that didn't happen.
It was on and off the entire time, but TikTok is saying any claims that it was 30 minutes period.
They said it was half that.
It was half that.
Jamie, how long was that video?
But still, anybody who watched it, it is shockingly upsetting.
Hi, it's Shanna from Pennsylvania, and I must say that
he supports his entire family just being sure, exactly. So his humans, seriously, like his humans, it was 32 minutes. Why and where was this happening before? What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. The bot caught it and sent it to human mod. Where the F were the humans? Too much slips by that AI. I agree. But I don't know how it would have played out had they have shut him down immediately. Maybe we would have woken up to news that somebody found him in the morning, you know?
I got a glimpse of that live last night from TikTok, and I am so thankful that Perez had people to actually reach out to get the help that he needed to be aided. He may have had so much.
I agree with this woman, and I agree with her.
Much on his plate and his changeover from moving from one state to the next, trying to.
A lot of people, I gotta tell you, a lot of people have said that. Jamie has said that, like, it's a big deal to move like that. I don't know, I mean, physically it is, but I guess with all those kids, it might be. I've moved around a lot, and I've always seen it as a new adventure and stuff. And I guess he just didn't want to go. That's what it looks like to me, was he didn't want to go. He liked being in Vegas, but his mom wanted to go. It gets cold in Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? It gets cold there. I know that was the first place I ever saw snow, was in Las Vegas.
Please his mom at the last stage of, her
yes,
being
I
older.
agree. He did have previous
And
scars.
I'm so happy that he did get the help that he needed at that point, because mental health is real, and he needed that aid because he was just sick, being in the hospital. And this is just shocking, and I will never unsee that, what I saw on last night.
You and a lot of other people, they're saying.
That's the thing. Like, it was done publicly. He's a man that suffers with self-harm. That's even worse. That's even worse if he suffers with self-harm and people were going after him. I heard that Ryan Reynolds and what's his witch of a wife's name? I used to really like her. Blake Lively, not that I really liked her. I thought she was pretty. I don't think she's pretty anymore. I'm not sure I've ever seen her act in anything, except maybe in life, because I heard, from a lot of people, they've called me up, when you look into it. She's not a nice person. It appears that she's really not a nice person. So, yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Marshmallow. Yeah. Guys, this is a new case. You're not going to believe it. This is in Florida. And one of you guys sent this to me. You sent me an email and said, I can't believe it happened again. And I was shocked. So this is in Florida. And guys, just trigger. But I also want you guys to hear it and, and think about this shit. Remember how we said there's people that live like that and we don't know? Watch.
People living under the same roof are now behind bars after an infant was found clinging to life inside an alleged Florida house of.
We just willy-nilly do this. Yes, this is brand new, something we haven't seen yet. And it happened last month.
The property smells very strongly of animal feces and urine, so I can imagine what it's like inside.
These are some of the most difficult cases to talk about. And we're talking about a home that had scattered garbage and animal urine and feces. And those are just some of the horrific conditions we're told were found inside the house. Neighbors are also talking about what they have seen from the outside of this home in Florida.
There was literally no food there for the children. They weren't being cared for. And here's the reality of it. This is nothing more than a case of pure unadulterated laziness.
That is the sheriff, Gator Deloche.
This is law and crime. Somebody sent this to me last night. So maybe this is the thing that I woke up to this morning, because I'm pretty sure it was an email I woke up to this morning and got it together. Guys, I really do wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's my goal. Sometimes it's 3:30 that I get out of bed, but I mean, the alarms are going. So
of Putnam County, Florida, where all of this is taking place. I just talked to him and his lead investigator on this case, a man named Chris Ashley. I'm going to be honest, they didn't hold back when they talk about not just the conditions that only those who experienced it can actually describe, but also why they believe this allegedly happened and the excuses they say the people now in custody had for the condition.
Guys, this isn't the same. It is okay. How do I put this? Well, you're going to find out. You'll see the differences. You're going to see the difference in this case and in the Siders case.
That children were living in. And let's talk about
I don't think they are anymore.
Maybe you got a neighbor and you feel like they could clean up their house a little bit better. Maybe you've seen a home and you think it's just something, it doesn't look good for someone as you're just driving by, a place for them to live.
Stasia, you're a trooper.
Having a messy house, that's not a crime in itself. But what we're talking about, according to law enforcement, is because in this particular case, police say
should have been condemned.
There were people in this home, young children, who were completely helpless. And not just young children, a newborn infant.
A newborn infant. And guess what? Same situation. Husband and wife and parents and kids. Same thing.
Because law enforcement say the conditions in this house were.
And Edna, we should have coffee together, but then you know what? I won't get anything done because I go. At 3 a.m., man, I go.
So bad. They believe that law enforcement and first responders were able to get to the 6-week-old child before he lost his life. And now, police have thrown 4 different people.
But wait till you hear. Like, and I'm serious, this is a little bit more graphic, I want to say, than the Siders thing. They left a lot to the imagination in the Siders case. This one, not so much.
After an investigation, they say has spanned nearly a month. Now, we're going to get into more here.
Okay, because this happened last month, and that's maybe why we know more about it, too. But the other thing happened last month, too, now, didn't it?
Of what this neighbor had to say to local station Action News Jax about the shocking thing she says she's seen from an outside perspective and how the surrounding community tried to step in to help. And we also have the reports directly from police giving a terrifying up-close look of what this home was allegedly hiding behind closed doors. And then just wait for our interview that we had with the Putnam County.
I don't know. I don't fucking know either. I don't know. But it gets worse. It gets worse than that because the child was born addicted. The child was born addicted. Yeah. So it gets worse.
Sheriff and his lead detective, they shared some crucial information about how long they believe potentially the conditions were like this in this home.
I'm
So
all
let's
right
jump
with
right into
that.
this case. This all begins July 7th of this year. And according to police, the Department of Children and Families, DCF, conducted a follow-up visit.
I'm all right with this one right here. So the only reason why they found out about this was CPS did have something to do with this because the child was born addicted. They had to keep tabs on the child. If the child wasn't born addicted, no. But because the child was born addicted, yep.
At the home involving a 6-week-old infant male. Now, the reason for the follow-up was this infant was allegedly born with marijuana in his system as well as kratom. The police report cites.
Okay, so, you know, I had to take that one out, but it was CRACK. And not but. So that's what that child was addicted to. CRACK.
Explaining that infants exposed to those substances are at great risk for strokes, cardiac arrhythmias, respiratory distress, and compromise.
Look at Jamie. And I want you guys to remember, Jamie has a fucking boot on her leg. She can't even walk right now. So she's got to get her crutches first. Jamie, you might need to get some Depends because by the time you get your shit together, literally, to get to the toilet, yeah, maybe.
Neurocognitive development and severe withdrawal symptoms. So it makes sense that DCF wanted to keep a close eye on this baby. And the sheriff told me that the mom, she also allegedly admitted to smoking marijuana throughout the pregnancy. DCF contacted the boy's mom, 26-year-old.
She's a prize. It pisses me off too, Stasia. Pisses me off too. You can look up who owns TikTok. I didn't think they owned. I didn't think the Chinese owned it anymore. I don't know.
Cannon and observed that the infant was extremely underweight. DCF then asked Cannon when she last took her son to the doctor, and she said she took him when he was 2 weeks old, but she couldn't provide an exact date. And when DCF asked Cannon why her son hadn't been to the doctor since, she said their pediatric office closed and she hadn't found another doctor yet.
I don't know, Daphne, because it's Florida. I don't know. Is that what they said, JoJo, for show? Was it Kratom? Just as bad. Just as bad. Just because there's a loophole to get that shit. Just as bad.
Now, because of the alleged malnourished state of Cannon's son, DCF advised Cannon that they would take her and the infant to the emergency room. But Cannon reportedly declined. And that is when DCF reportedly took matters into their own hands and called first responders because this baby needed immediate medical attention. Here's what police said happened at the hospital. Quote, once at the ER, there were positive findings of medical neglect. The infant required PICU admission due to low heart rate, low body temperature, and low weight.
The baby was like, the baby lost weight. The baby lost weight.
DCF's intervention on July 7th, the infant could have easily died. There were also positive findings of failure to thrive. The infant lost 600 grams, which is around 1.3 pounds, between birth and 6 weeks of age.
That's a lot of weight to lose as a 6-week-old baby.
Which is a lot. The mother, and we're talking about Jody Cannon here, did not recognize the severity of the illness and even refused when told to go to the ER. As a result, Jody Cannon was arrested on July 21st for charges of child neglect with great bodily harm, a second-degree felony, along with a third-degree felony charge of child neglect. Now, her infant son, along with her 2...
Yes, Janae, we can get this. You can get it anywhere. Yeah, you can.
Other young children were also placed in the custody of DCF. And it is, when you hear about how close, according to law enforcement, this 6-week-old was...
They might be getting a paycheck for her.
To dying. It is such a good thing
that
child is now...
They said that they called it lazy. That's exactly what they called it, lazy. They're a prize. Look at them. Aren't they a good-looking couple?
In the custody.
Can't you see the love in their eyes? Can you see a little baby looking at that face and pulling at that thing? And this guy saying, or smacking the hands and not doing anything.
Of someone else. If convicted on all charges, Cannon could face up to 20 years in prison. Now, again, we're obviously thankful that her son is alive, but these circumstances, they are tough to hear. And unfortunately, this is just the tip of the iceberg, according to law enforcement, because there are 4 people, remember, in custody in this case.
Wow.
So I want to fast forward a week later. We're on July 28th now, and the Putnam County SWAT team and detectives with the Putnam County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant for Jody Cannon's house. And based on information they received...
Look at that shit. Isn't that terrible?
From DCF and other resources about the alleged unsafe conditions that the infant child was living in.
That's right. And I don't recommend anybody using Kratom. Don't use that shit.
And they had to move in. And when law enforcement arrived at the home, they discovered even more people had been living there aside from Jody Cannon and her children. And the sheriff told me that he believes that a total of 4 children were living in this house. Also living in the home, Jordan Wilson. He is the biological father to Jody Cannon's children. Also there, Melissa Keel, who is the children's biological grandmother.
The grandmother.
John Keel, who is Jody Cannon's stepfather, along with Melissa and John's adoptive son. So he is the 4th who was, at the time, still in their custody. So now it's discovered that at one point, several children were reportedly living inside the home. And here's where the story takes such a disturbing and dark turn. According to police, a detective, DCF...
Right? Look, fucking... Why do they have animals, too?
...investigator and a Putnam County code enforcement officer proceed to inspect the residence. And prior to entry, a strong odor of animal urine was emitting from inside the home.
They didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care.
Now, we heard from a neighbor who lived down the street from the home for 4 years, and it sounds similar to what she says she's witnessed from the outside.
The property smells very strongly of like animal feces and urine, so I can imagine what it's like inside. There comes a point where we need to realize that some people are just evil.
I think it was the mom and the stepdad. So it was the grandmother of the kids.
Evil people and shouldn't be allowed to have children.
The neighbor also
it does look like a landfill.
Told Action News Jax that several...
And you know what? I hate to say it, but if people see that, and people are going to start throwing their garbage there and not pay for garbage.
Nearby residents allegedly called CPS because of the home and property's conditions, and she's made attempts to also contact animal control after allegedly witnessing several dogs locked outside the property.
Yes. And another thing, had dogs that were starving and needed water. Fuck these people, pardon my language. Fuck these people, pardon my language. Should I say it again? Fuck these people.
Without food or water for days, along with several matted dogs running up and down the street. Putnam County Animal Services responded to the television station with a statement explaining they responded to the home, and at the time, its residents eventually took corrective actions. Now, in our conversation with the sheriff and his detective, they seem to have zeroed in on when this house may have started to get into such bad shape. So I want to continue on here, though, with what we're learning from court documents, because now law enforcement is gearing up to enter the home. And the alleged details there are hard to stomach, especially when you think of the...
I'm sorry, Tie-Dye Gammy. One of you lovely people sent it to me. Might have been Kathleen. She was sending me a lot of stuff I had to say. Whoa, slow it down, man. I was getting overwhelmed. This one, I don't know. I'd have to look.
4 children who were living inside. Quote, the entryway led to the living room.
They said when you walked by it, you could smell that.
Which is where the infant's grandparents, Melissa and John Keel, slept on couches. The juveniles slept on a filthy mattress on the floor. There was an infestation of flies not only in the living room, but also in the kitchen and hallway. The flies were also swarming the area where the juvenile was sleeping. As we continued, animal feces.
Oh my God. You know, I have like the gnats, and I see everybody has them because there's a lot of YouTubers I'm seeing doing this. First one I saw do it was Eric Carroll. I was like, fuck, he's got that shit too. But seriously, that drives me crazy. I can't imagine living with bugs like that, especially in Florida. I'm telling you, the cockroaches down there, they fly and they're huge. I am not lying. Look them up. Palmetto bugs. Like, they would eat your children, man. Oh my God.
And urine were very visible on the floor. On one spot of the floor, near a washer and dryer, were fresh animal feces with another swarm of flies surrounding it. The kitchen, the sink, had a large number of soiled pots and pans that had not been cleaned for a large amount of time. Under the sink, the pipes had leaked at some point, which caused...
Oh God, like this makes me want to shower. I
the
just
wood floor
showered too.
to rot with signs of mold showing. The roof above the dining room had been patched, but was structurally not sound, according to code enforcement. The ceiling that had mold on it had been painted over with white paint. As law enforcement continued searching the home, they discovered the only usable bathroom was allegedly in disrepair, and the floor under the sink was rotting with water.
Oh my God, these people, what the fuck? They shouldn't have been able to bring a child into that house. I don't understand. How does a 6-week-old child go home to that? Welcome to the world. What the fuck did that kid do that deserves that? Oh my God. Absolutely horrible. Just fucking hell. Look at this shit show. You know, the ciders, that wasn't okay. But this screams if somebody's living in there, they need to not be living in there. Eric Carroll. Calling Eric Carroll. Eric Carroll, go save somebody in Florida. Eric Carroll. A lot of people need help. The Whitakers weren't one of them. Look at these people here.
Damage. As for the bedroom, the infant's father, Jordan Wilson, was allegedly using, police described its conditions as cluttered and deplorable with flies and cockroaches seen throughout the bedroom. Police said the room was unsanitary for a juvenile due to used...
Look them up. Look them up online. You want to see what they look like? I'm telling you. Oh, I hate them. Oh, I hate them. Wait till you see these mothers are big. Palmetto bugs, that's what they're called. And I had a 2-door garage fall on it. I'm not lying, right? A two-door garage fall on it. It didn't kill it. It did not kill it. Okay, so these little bastards are fucking huge, and they fly, man. They fly to the fucking moon, man. They are so bad. They are so bad. And I'm serious. They could be like 6 inches. And the shells, you have to flip them on their back and step on their guts, on their belly to kill them. I'm not even making that shit up. And they fly, so you never know which direction they're going. God, I hate them. I fucking hate them. And those poor kids, man.
Dishes found on the floor of a dresser for an unknown length of time. And it really just gets worse. Quote, the residents had a refrigerator in the kitchen that had barely enough food for all 4 people to eat. There were also bugs and a strong unhealthy odor coming from inside the refrigerator that almost made a SWAT team member vomit. A second stand-up freezer in the kitchen was empty, but also had a strong odor coming.
Man, listen, I get ants and stuff like that too, but my house is clean. You know what I mean? Like when you walk in, it smells like weed, but that's it.
From inside. Now, due to the disgusting conditions allegedly uncovered,
an weed smell. And sometimes I don't even like that.
Safe structure placard was placed on the home, and the remaining child, Melissa and John Keel's adoptive son, was placed into DCF custody. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office said that 4 dogs and 3 kittens were also voluntarily surrendered to Putnam County Animal Services in order to be evaluated and placed for adoption. Due to the voluntary surrender, detectives are not...
You think somebody's going to adopt those dogs? You think those dogs are trained?
Pursuing animal neglect charges in this case. As for now, Jordan Wilson, Melissa Keel, and John Keel were all arrested on 3rd-degree felony child neglect in connection.
Man, you know what it should be? Only Sharon Roaches survived. Did you read that in my book? You know that I wrote that in my book, Stasia. I really did. Yikes, flying cockroaches, big motherfuckers too. I ain't lying. They're big.
to Cannon's infant son, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. But according to the sheriff's office, additional charges are possible for all 4 family members related to the other children residing in the home. There have been no future court dates set as of now, but we will keep a close eye on this case as it continues to unfold. Join us now to talk more about this is Sheriff Gator.
Isn't that something, guys? Look at right before our very eyes.
Loesch of Putnam County, Florida, as well as the lead investigator on this case, Chris Ashley. Thank you both for taking the time to be with us today. Let's just start with what you found in this house. How would you characterize, and we've seen some pictures from the outside. What did you see when you went in the door?
Honestly, Chris, I wish we were able to share the pictures with you.
Not all of Florida is fucking Disney World, Jameson. Grace Stiles in the house. How you doing, Grace?
From the interior of the residence, I can tell you in 25 years of being in law enforcement, this is probably one of the most profound child neglect cases I have ever seen in my career. And I think Chris can probably attest to that as well. He's been doing this for a long time. So I'll let Chris go into some of the details, but just a brief chronology. There was a child that was born on May 20.
Listen to this, guys. Just listen. Just
26th, and DCF got involved because when the child was born, they were tested positive for THC or marijuana in their system. That prompted a response from DCF. They went out and did a follow-up investigation on July 7th.
And baby, what a big surprise. This house smells.
Just a routine home visit to go and check to see the child, see how they were doing, see how they were progressing. Deputies and rescue were contacted by the caseworker at the residence. We came out. They had some concerns about some very serious neglect. The baby had lost a significant amount of weight. Had a terrible case of diaper rash.
CPS, you think? CPS, probably no hurry to clean the butt. CPS definitely acted right here. I'm sorry that the baby lived like that at all. How you doing, Claudia?
And just overall did not look well. The caseworker actually offered previously to take the baby to the pediatrician. The caretaker refused, and rescue ultimately transported the baby to the hospital.
The caretaker's the mother. So no, don't you have to take the baby to the pediatrician? Yeah, they lost a little bit of weight. 6 weeks old, they lost over a pound. No big deal. They could eat a cockroach. What the fuck? Or eat the feces. What? Wait, you want fresh feces or fresh cockroach? Either which way, they're both coming. Come on, man.
So from there, Detective Ashley began working on the case. A forensic medical team at the hospital where the baby was transported to actually made a medical determination that there was neglect. The child came to the hospital. They had
what? They had to go into the hospital to decide if the child was neglected. Neglect alone is the house, the place that they were living in. How does that not click? It just doesn't make sense. How is that okay? You go there, you smell it, you take a look around, you grab the kid, and you fucking get out of there. Grab the pets too.
Of course, low body weight, like I said, a low heart rate, low temperature, and
I think some people seriously, these were addicts. It looks like they were addicts, and I think they were using the get children, get money. I thought Florida was harder. I really did. Florida's a red state. I thought it was harder.
The verge of death, according to one of the caretakers. So I just want to read a brief excerpt from one of the caretakers at the hospital that's actually.
Guys, I'm not kidding with you. All right. You know how we do the news here? Because this is really hard. I'm going to tell you a story about these flying cockroaches. You're going to bust out laughing. So I was about 12 years old. And I was into sports, and I've told you that. And I loved ball. I fought anything except basketball. I'm more of a fan of basketball now since Sophie Cunningham. But anyway, never a basketball fan. But I was playing ball, just catch with I had a baseball mitt, and a friend had a baseball mitt. Excuse me, I was under one street lamp. Excuse me, she was under the other street lamp. And we were throwing the ball to each other. So she says, "Hey, what's that on your shoulder?" And I looked, and it was one of the big motherfuckers. Yeah, it was. And I went running into these bushes, this hedge, because I'm hoping and praying that the thing will go away. And then I wasn't allowed to be barefoot, but I wasn't at home. So I was barefoot, and I ended up tripping over my pant leg, which made me slide 2 houses on my belly to the house where my friend's parents were. And I knew nothing about alcohol or anything like that, but apparently her dad was always had too much to drink and always kind of passed out on the couch. Nice guy, never bothered or anything like that. Just, came home from work, drank a little bit too much, passed out on the couch. And the mom, very Italian. I kind of scare her when I'm in there because I'm like, get off me, get off me, get off me, get off me. And the thing fucking moved up more. So she's yelling at me for waking up her husband. But I'm a terrorized child at this point, and she had to get that thing off me. But I lived with that for a long time because I was friends with this person, oh God, for like 20, 30 years. And we're probably still friends to this day. It's just life is what happens to you. You just lose touch with people. But yeah. So I hate those fucking things. I was in a high rise. I lived in a high rise like in Singer Island as a kid, right? And we were on the 11th floor, and one of those things came out of the dishwashing machine. So, and we had a spotless house. You know what I'm saying? A spotless house. So it has to do with water, and it has to do with those fucking palmetto, those palm trees. Seriously. So that house had those flying cockroaches, and I know that because you could look at it, and also they said the dampness that there was dampness.
Noted in the report.
Those things.
This mother refuses to seek health care when DCF advised she had taken the infant to the emergency, that she'd take the infant to the emergency room. When this infant was presented to the emergency room, the infant required admission to the pediatric intensive care unit due to low heart rate, low body temperature.
Yeah, this is from Florida.
And low weight. Without DCF intervention on July 7th, the infant could have easily died. This mother did not recognize the
absolutely
severity of the illness that the infant was experiencing, and even refused when told to go to the ER. The child is at serious risk of illness or death.
Ew, isn't that horrible? Oh my God. Yeah, they're bad. They're bad.
If ever left in the care of this mother again in the future.
Wow.
They should never be. The mother's going to prison. She should be in prison. Listen, I'm trying to understand why she wasn't in prison when she was feeding her child drugs when the child was inside of her. Like, that's my thing. It was marijuana and kratom. So come on.
And
so
yeah, it's just terrible.
That illustrates the the level of neglect that we're talking about here. This is
I don't give a shit. They fly.
Is not to downplay.
We're probably nicer than them.
Any child neglect, but this is a very serious, very profound case, like I said.
I believe it.
So I'll let Chris, weigh in on this and share with you a little bit about what he found. Not to steal his thunder, but this place the living conditions were absolutely abhorrent. There were animal feces all over the place, smeared all over the poor children.
They all need to be in prison, Janae. Absolutely. We need to start doing something here. Like, you can't tell me that this woman went into the hospital all clean and healthy looking when she gave birth. I'm not going to believe that. I believe that she probably looked very much like she did when she got picked up, just like the others, just like the Siders. I'm sure that she smelled. I'm sure that she was dirty. I'm sure that her hair was greasy. But give them a newborn child. Welcome to the world. That's the right thing to do. And let them walk away.
Children's feet and just rancid food left out in bedrooms.
Yeah, can you see that? I want to ask you seriously, like, I'm sorry, but when I go to the doctors, man, I make sure I take an extra shower. Even if I'm going in one of them stupid machines for something, I just, you know what I'm saying? You think that they didn't have a working bathroom. So they didn't smell? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but fuck, there's not a red light there. There's nothing saying, hey, maybe this woman shouldn't be walking away with the child because she can't keep herself clean. Because I don't think that these people are washing themselves up to go to the doctors or to deliver babies. I don't think so.
Absolutely deplorable.
Yeah, Chris, how soon, like, as you're approaching this house, did you realize that this was going to be a very, not only just because of the concerns about the child.
I smoke pot, but I don't think a pregnant person should smoke pot. I don't. And I don't think that pot should be smoked in a house where there's no ventilation and a kid is there, or anybody for that matter, if they don't smoke, whether it be cigarettes or weed, to be honest with you.
The hospital, but also just kind of as you're approaching it, like what stood out to you?
Well, it wasn't until you got to the front door, and when you got to the door, you're just automatically hit with the smell of pet urine.
How do you say that? We just saw the outside of that house. I don't understand that. What the fuck is wrong with you? You think, seriously, you saw the outside of that house. One of you guys, at least one of you, thought it was a fucking city dump. So there wasn't a problem with children there, and that's the yard that they have to play in. As long as what? They don't smell? I don't understand that.
Ammonia. You step in and you're just stepping into swarms of flies just throughout the house. And I mean, I've never seen so many flies in one place in my life.
Imagine that. So this is Prince Charming. This is the princess here. Princess on the wall. Who's a fucker. Like this is bad. But this is what I'm saying. So if this person goes in there, right? Are you going to give her a child? Her hair hasn't been, I guess, washed since she left the hospital. Did they even bathe her at the hospital? I'm sorry. But this isn't overworked. This isn't, you know what I mean? This is lazy. This is neglect. This is, unfortunately, a person in addiction, in my opinion, that should not be having a child, but needs to work on their life.
It was just bad. You just walked through every room, just had swarms of flies. The two adults and the juvenile slept in the living room, and the juvenile was sleeping on a mattress, and that mattress had swarms of flies, just around the mattress. So I don't know how that kid was able.
Oh God. Oh shit.
To sleep out at all, and then you just keep going in the house, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Just going through it.
You're right.
What did the people who are living at the house, and I know 4 people, these adults are facing charges now in this case, but like when you talk to them, what did they say about these conditions?
Well, they all knew it was bad, and I guess what started was a hurricane about 3 years ago that tore a hole in the roof, and instead of getting it professionally repaired, they just put a tarp over it. And
wow, that explains a lot. I mean, Florida, I don't care that they call it the Sunshine State. It rains there. It rains in that state. That I've lived in quite a few states. Florida, I'm sorry, is the rainiest state. I'm just being serious. It rains there. And those people that live in Florida, you know that it rains there, and it usually rains there every day around the same time. So why? I mean, okay. I guess they didn't have the money for a roof, and then what do? You don't have another kid, but I guess they figured, oh, we'll have a kid, they'll pay for the roof.
The tarps end up leaking, and I got a video from a third party that showed the water just coming out of the ceiling down the drapes into buckets. And when DCF went back in, I think one of their earlier visits,
why they let them stay there? Like, I don't understand. Why the fuck do they let them stay there? I don't understand that. I was watching, I told you I watched videos, a lot of them from Florida and stuff like that. And there are whole towns in Florida that have been abandoned, that there's no reason that people can't live in those places. I mean, we got to do better. We can't let people live like this, especially children. How does CPS go there and leave there without taking a kid? I don't understand. Or a dog. I don't understand.
They took pictures of the drapes, and the drapes had mold on it, black mold. And so they actually patched the ceiling with plywood and then painted over the mold. But if you're familiar with black mold, it's all in the attic on the roof joists and all that. So they didn't get it professionally removed. If you don't get it professionally removed, it's going to just continue to grow no matter what you do. So they were very aware of how bad that house was.
Chris, let me see if I can summarize one of the interviews for you without divulging anything confidential or compromising the case. Let it suffice to say that no matter what the question that was asked, they had an excuse for everything. And the fact of the matter is there is absolutely no excuse for anyone, much less children, to be exposed to an environment like
exactly. That's it.
like this.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, firstly, you just wonder how someone just from a health standpoint would actually be able to live in conditions like that. I mean, you just think of the flies and, this time of year in Florida, just how humid it can get. But there were 2 other children.
be grateful there weren't any tattoos on the newborn.
Children in the home as well, right? So you have this infant, this newborn, really, and then
yeah, there was actually a total of 4 children.
4 children. And how are they?
That's what I'm saying, JoJo. Bingo. This guy has to go and smell the place. I can't figure that one out.
Health concerns do you have for them, considering the conditions they were in?
Well, I can't necessarily say that they're thriving, but they've been placed in foster care. So they're obviously in a much better environment that they were in. Frankly, I think if they'd been living out in the woods as feral children, they would have probably been in a much cleaner, safer environment.
I believe that too, sir, from what I'm seeing
Than what they were in this home.
And when it comes to, when you say
flies didn't want to leave,
I feel like at the hospital, there's kind of this determination that this is a neglect case. And, you know, unfortunately, we see across the country, there are homes where you could say, someone could do a better job keeping it clean. Like, what is the bar when you get to that point where we're not just talking about someone who fell on hard times or might have a house in disarray? Like, what is the bar when you get to the point of something like this? I know this may go well beyond what that bar may be, but when it gets to the point where you feel like you have probable cause for a neglect case.
Well, some of what we've already highlighted, just the failure to keep the home in a safe environment. There was literally no food there for the children.
Yeah, but it should be a requirement.
They weren't being cared for. And here's the reality of it.
Should be a requirement. They should have to pass the fucking course.
This is nothing more than a case of pure unadulterated laziness. If you go through and you actually look at some of the photos, you can see cleaning supplies in the home. So they had the means and the ability to clean this place up, and they were just lazy.
Was there any prior interaction with this family, with either law enforcement?
They had cleaning supplies, right? But they were just too dirty. First of all, so they did fix the roof, but they didn't do anything about, they didn't fucking care. Off subject, but Christopher Whitcomb, he was interviewed by Dax Shepard. Any problems with him? Can you email me that, Claudia, at Toddie1skip@gmail.com? Is there any way you can email me that information, please? And these nasty mofos had cleaning supplies in the house. They just didn't use it. Yep. Listen, cleaning supplies, as we know, I don't know. Maybe they weren't anything that they could HUFF.
I know DCF had been involved after the child was born and some of the concerns at the hospital, but like, was this a family on your radar prior to this?
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we've been out there once in the past, some time ago, but nothing of any significance that I'm aware of.
And the newborn child, was that child born at a hospital? What's typically the process? And I know DCF was getting involved, but some people might look and just say,
I think the child was born in the hospital. That's how they found out that the kid had was addicted.
You have a child born to marijuana.
I don't think addicted to marijuana, right? I don't think marijuana is addictive. Let me go smoke my joint. No, seriously, I don't think it's addictive, but certainly you don't fucking give it to a kid
in their system.
An infant, a baby.
I think kratom was
also
in there.
You don't drink, you don't smoke cigarettes, you don't eat a bunch of crap. Like when you have a child, man, you are not number one anymore. That's it.
System as well.
And if you can't do that, you shouldn't have a kid.
How does the law kind of view that, where a mother could still take their child home and DCF gets involved? Like, what's that process typically like?
DCF views that as something that is not favorable for the child or the parents, but they do everything they can in most cases to try and keep families united without separating them. And as part of this case, like I said, they were going out there and doing routine follow-up visits. And it's also worth noting that this mother said she was using marijuana.
Here's the thing, like follow-up visits, that house has been, I'm with Jamie. That house didn't happen like that overnight. That house has been like that. You guys failed. End of story. You fucking failed. Red State.
While she was pregnant with the child. Obviously, that shows up in the drug screen whenever the child is born. But this is not, medical grade cannabis that she was going and getting from a dispensary. She was going and buying this. So
she was buying street cannabis or THCA.
Fake marijuana, Delta 9.
There you go. 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 Yeah.
THC, whatever it is, that you can go to any convenience store and get. So, absolutely no excuse for it.
And the thing is once you heat it up, it'll get you high like marijuana. But I was told if you keep smoking that, that it's going to take away your high too.
For this behavior.
I live in a place where you can just go buy weed.
What happens to
I buy weed.
The house now?
So, Chris, I'll let you take that.
The house is actually condemned.
It should be condemned. What do you mean? Huff and puff and blow that bitch down.
Through our code enforcement department. So once
who's gonna live there? The roof isn't on. There's mold growing in it. God, there's flies that don't want to leave that house.
Get out, they have the opportunity to repair the house, but they have to do it during the day. They can't be in the house.
Oh, God. Okay, so this house looks like it's in worse shape than the Whitakers. I didn't know that their roof was falling out. They had a brand new roof. Eric Carroll, this was the family to come and get. The Whitakers could have stayed in their house. I don't like you anymore, Aunt Edna.
At night, they've got to get all kinds of permits and all that to even start the work. From talking with family, I believe that the house is actually owned by an older relative. It would be grandma, great grandma, or the ladies.
I want to do that. I want to try to grow some. I've never done that before. I want to try.
Grandmother. So I don't see them actually going back into the house at any point or even fixing.
I think that I have to wait now because winter.
The house, it might just.
Chris, I'm not a contractor, so I can't offer any sort of professional opinion.
That house needs to go in torch.
But probably the best way to address this home would be with a match and to start.
There you go. There you go, Jojo.
Start over. It's that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly sounds like it from the way you've been describing it. And I know there's only so much you can say about interactions you've had with suspects in this case, but as far as the mom and her not wanting to take this child, even when told by DCF to take this child to seek medical care, was there any reason why?
See, I don't understand why DCF is asking her, do you want to take the child to medical care? Because DCF, in my opinion, Department of Children and Family Services, they need to grab the child. You don't ask, you see. It's not good. How do you leave a child like that? How do you leave a child like that? In that kind of care? I don't understand that.
All the health concerns that were there, that she wouldn't want to take her child to go see a doctor?
Nothing more than pure unadulterated laziness and more excuses that we got whenever she was interviewed. And I really wish I could tell you more.
Sure.
But we.
Is that Dax Shepard, the actor? Claudia? The blonde guy that's married to, what's her name? Oh, God. Belle? Is that who you're talking about? Seriously? I'd like to know. Oh, God, I want to remember that. It is the actor? Lala, you have an interest in this Koberger case? Christian Bell, yeah. You have an interest in the Koberger case? Can you send that to me?
We can't, because we can't share those details from those interviews.
I know that you've missed a few of my lives. We've gone over Brian a little bit. You know, I'm hoping that he gets a new trial.
For a multitude of reasons, not the least of which it may compromise the investigation. But
Lala, I'm pretty sure I know who you are. Yeah, okay, right. We've spoken before, right? Lala, you and I have spoken before, face to face. Am I right? I just want to make sure that I'm talking to the right person here.
This should have never happened.
Yeah, it just sounds awful. I'm sure experiencing it.
I'm pretty sure I gave you credit on my last video because I'm pretty sure that I've worked with you behind the scenes on some of this stuff. Yeah, okay. All right. So this is the person. Remember I told you guys a subscriber and I were working on this and she was really into this. And yeah, you weren't part of that live stream. So there you go. See? There you go. Well, reach back out to me because we're jumping in it. No problem there. Reach back out to me. I'm in it. Unless you found somebody, and I wouldn't take offense to this, unless you found somebody that's been more on the ball than me.
Chris, actually going into this house, certainly an experience you don't want to go through again.
I'm going to check that out. I like him as an actor. I'm going to check him out.
All of these charges have been referred to the state attorney's office. They're actually taking care of the prosecution, and they're working hand in.
And we're not done. So I mean, I don't have anything on Brian with this, but
hand with Detective Ashley and some of our other investigators to see this case through to fruition, prosecution, and bring it to a close.
Yeah, just a horrific case. Sharon.
Guys, I just couldn't believe when I got this and the little note that just said, I can't believe this. I can't believe this again. All right, very good, Lala. And to see this, it makes you wonder, what did this family think if they knew anything about the Siders family? Did they think, oh, it's just a matter of time before we get nabbed? Like, I'm serious. And here's the thing. In 1 month, because this is all 1 month, 2 families were living like this in 1 month, because this happened in July. The Siders thing happened in July, right? 1 month, this is what happened. So imagine how many people live like this in our country, right under our fucking noses.
Gator Deloche of Putnam County, Florida, and Chris Ashley, lead investigator of this case.
So if you go
thank you both
past
for
the
the work you
house,
do.
seriously, I don't think it's gonna hear anything. I don't think that we're gonna hear anything. We have to. I'm sorry, I'm getting a notification. I think that it's time for us to say something when we see something. I'm serious. I don't care. You know, if you think that there's something wrong, you got to say something. And if you get it wrong, okay. I'm not saying don't use common sense. Please use common sense. But if you see a child going into a house, hey Dragon, how you doing? If you see a child going into a house that looks dangerous on the outside, like that they could fall and hurt themselves, make a phone call. Make a phone call. If everything's okay, then everything's okay. But this was not okay. And this child could have died. And the same thing with the ciders. You know, that went on for fucking decades, basically. Maybe if somebody would have said something 10 years ago, half of those kids wouldn't have been born. And maybe we'd be talking differently. But let's face it, our fucking government isn't watching out for us. So we, as neighbors and as a civilization, we have to watch out for us. Guys, so because we covered 2 dark stories right off, and I got more, the David thing is right around the corner. But this is something that I thought would be really interesting, and it's inspirational. So I thought, let's listen to this. Because, you know, people, if you keep, you know, with the dark stuff, right? It's going to mess with you. So you got to always make a point of putting something positive into your lives as well. So that's why I'm always going to do it with our videos, because we cover very dark stuff. And we have to always recognize good stuff as well, right? Because there's a balance, and we have to pay attention to the balance. There's a yin, there's a yang. We have to pay attention to a balance. When I get to where it's like I just want no noise, I'll get in my car and just fucking drive. You know, so whatever it is that we need from ourselves, we have to be able to give that to ourselves. And this is something I thought was really inspirational. And I wanted to share it with you because I didn't know about this. Some of you might. Check it out.
This man walked out of his house and he still hasn't.
Total true story. I looked into it. So I don't want to hear people say, Toddie, it's not real. It's real.
Returned. For 27 years, Carl Bushby has tried to become the first person to walk around the world, following one strict rule: no transport of any kind. His journey began at the southern tip of Chile with a promise: I'll return home only on foot. 2 years later, after crossing South America, he faced his first major obstacle: the Darien Gap, one of the deadliest places on Earth with its impenetrable jungle, smugglers, and armed clashes between rebels and the military. Carl spent 50 days avoiding danger, and he
Guys, check this out. Have you guys heard anything about this? Have you heard anything about this?
somehow made it out alive. But just when
Kara and Lisa, how are you? You missed some dark stories. This one's a very interesting, positive story. This is about a man. It's a true story about a man who in 1978, 1998, decided that he was going to walk around the world. And the rule was he couldn't get in any mode of transportation. Not any mode of transportation. He's still walking around the world, guys. Listen.
he thought he was safe, Panamanian soldiers captured and held him for 18 days. After finally being released, he took 6 more years to walk across Central and North America, finally reaching the edge of the world, the Bering Strait. To cross into Russia, Karl had to wait for the ocean to freeze over. He and French traveler Dmitry Kiefer became some of the first people to cross it on foot, even after drifting 50 miles off course in the Arctic. Upon arriving, Russian authorities immediately detained him. Due to strict visa rules, Russia required Karl to leave.
So listen, they walked across an ocean, the Bering Sea. They walked across the Bering Sea in the wintertime. In the fucking wintertime, guys. And I looked this up. You could look this up. You could look this up. This is why I wanted to share it with you. Because who would look at this? And the guy's going to finish this year. The guy, really, to make such a commitment. Right? Listen to this.
The country every 90 days, only to return to the same spot to continue his journey.
Wanted to go back to Miami because a lot of her.
I'm sorry. So I don't know why I did that. Hang on. Sorry about that. Fuck. Sorry. That guy was sleeping. Okay. That's, yeah, that's Lindsay Clancy. But this is the Bering Sea guy. Hold on. Okay. Hang on. Sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. I got to be more careful when I do that. All right. So here's the thing. So when he got to Russia, right? He had to keep leaving the country every 90 days. He had to keep leaving the country. So he would go 90 days into Russia and then he would have to leave and then he would come back to exactly where he stopped in 90 days. That's what that said. Sorry about that.
But just when he thought he was safe, Panamanian soldiers captured and held.
We've already been through this one.
Russian authorities immediately detained him. Due to strict visa rules, Russia required Karl to leave the country every 90 days, only to return to the same spot to continue his journey. Because of this,
his name is
crossing
Bushby.
Siberia in temperatures of minus 50 degrees.
Okay, look at the temperatures. Okay, that's 50 degrees Celsius. Do you know what that is in our temperatures in Fahrenheit? Oh my God. Oh my God. His name is Bushby. You can look him up. I didn't believe it at first. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not true. And I looked it up and it's true. Absolutely true.
Took him 11 years. Just as he made it out,
Through
the world
Russia.
shut down for the pandemic.
Look.
Karl got stuck in Kazakhstan for 4 years, facing a new impossible barrier, the Caspian Sea.
Now listen to this. This is fascinating. Ready?
He couldn't go around it. No transport rule meant no boats. So, at 50 years old, he made the only choice he had left. He decided to swim, using a support boat only for rest and sleep.
Okay, so he swam. The only time that he used a boat was strictly to sleep in it, was strictly for rest. So the boat had to stay in one place. The boat couldn't move, couldn't drift, couldn't anything. Okay, it had to basically be anchored. That's why I wanted to share it. Because look at that. Is that fucking crazy? 122 degrees below zero. And he was 50 years old. Guy was 50 years old. Is that crazy or not? Well, we see it on this channel, and that's why we show stuff like this.
He and American traveler Angela Maxwell crossed the Caspian Sea in 30 days.
30 days to swim across that. Isn't that something? The Caspian Sea. I don't know if there's anything in there that can eat you.
Becoming the only people
in the Bering Straits, we know that there is, right? But they walked the Bering Straits.
Ever to do so. Today, after traveling through 25 countries, covering 30,000 miles, and
30,000 miles on his feet, mate, on his feet. No bicycle, no mode of transportation, walking or running. That's it. That is it. Just decided, what the fuck, I'm going to go for a walk.
Almost 3 decades, Karl Bushby is walking across Europe. He is expected to finish his global journey later this year, but it all started when? In 1998.
So, guys, if you look it up, he's expected to finish before 2027. You guys can check that out. Let me see when his journey is supposed to end. I'll tell you. I thought I knew because I did ask. Karl Bushby. What's up, Bubba? When does his journey end? Does his walk end? Okay, so Carl Bushby, when does his walk in? September or October of 2026. Carl Bushby's epic round the world walk, known as the Goliath Expedition, is expected to end in September or October of 2026. He plans to finish his roughly 36,000-mile journey by arriving back home in Hull, England, nearly 28 years after he first set off from Chile on November 1st, 1998. I have English people. You don't know about this guy? He should be your hero. I'm joking. He's an English bloke. I'm surprised you don't know about him. But yeah, 28 years to walk the earth, basically, swimming in some places, right? Isn't that crazy? That's mad, isn't it? Okay, so this is strange, but classy. I saw this and I busted out laughing. I just busted out laughing. So let's check this out. I'm not a big fan of this group. I know about this group, but I'm not a fan of theirs. But I am now, and you'll see why. This is just another fun thing to put in there because we still have the Lindsay Clancy that you guys asked me to follow and the latest on David. So, yeah.
I'm not making fun of you.
So I'm going to interrupt this, and then I am going to play it one more time with no interruption. So he's in the middle of a concert. This is Chemical Romance, right? The band Chemical Romance, I think it is called. And he's in the middle of a concert, and he says he sees one guy just doesn't seem to be having a good time. And this is what he says.
But you don't seem to be enjoying the show very much. You're wearing a My Chemical Romance shirt.
You're wearing a My Chemical Romance shirt. That's the name of the band. Watch. And the person went to the show, but they don't look happy. So this guy is just pointing it out. Lead singer, right?
Would it help you to enjoy the show if I told you that we are My Chemical Romance?
I love this. I love this. I love this. Let's see it again.
I'm not making fun of you, but you don't seem to be enjoying the show very much. You're wearing a My Chemical Romance shirt. Would it help you to enjoy the show if I told you that we are My Chemical Romance?
I love that. I love that. So I thought that was very funny. And that just made me laugh. When I first saw it, I laughed hysterical because I was like, I thought he did it with class. And it apparently bothered him, right? That he's watching and somebody doesn't seem to be having a good time. And that's his job, to make people, have a good time. Maybe that person was looking in their phone and he found it to be rude. So it is brilliant. I thought the way he handled that was great. Now we're going to see how some other people handle shit. Wait. And then you get this. Guys, for those that don't know, this is Vince Neil, and he belonged to a band named Motley Crue. I was not a fan of Motley Crue. I like one song that they do. It's called Home Sweet Home. He looks terrible. I'll be honest with you. There are some people that should give up the stage at a certain age, in my opinion. And when you don't have it, you don't have it. It's very hard, especially when you're a lead singer and that's all you do. Paul McCartney, he's still a fucking brilliant showman. Absolutely brilliant showman. John Waite still gets up there and is a good showman. Cheap Trick. This guy, these obnoxious showmen who I just never cared for anyway, to be honest with you. All of their, I don't like them even when they're not obnoxious, apparently, because he looks lost up there. And he thinks he looks cool, in my opinion. Like he still has it, and he doesn't have it, in my opinion. He looks ridiculous. Okay. And I had to be careful because of the music. You know, I don't want any to hear about copyrights and stuff. Now, this is my least favorite, probably, showman. Like, I just do not like this guy. He's obnoxious. I really like Van Hagar. Could not stand Van Halen. My brother loved Van Halen, Jump, Panama, all that. Those songs are great, but I'd rather hear them sung by Sammy Hagar and performed by Sammy Hagar because David Lee Roth was just too fucking obnoxious for me. However, look at what's happened to David. So that's David. Now, guys, I want you to see he's an old man now. He thinks he still has it, but wait. Ooh, he's pulled that Elvis move. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Again, I had to be careful with the I think he's singing Panama here. And the thing is, he's singing to a track. He is actually singing to his own track, and at some point he forgets. Watch. He's got those moves. All he could do is move his shoulders up. Watch this. Listen. He was supposed to be singing Panama at that time, but he didn't bring the mic up to his mouth, and he knows it now. Look, because he even says something. Watch. See, I didn't do it. I fucked that up. He remembered that time. You see what I'm saying? And he canceled his tour. Spend all that money to hear somebody sing with a record is ridiculous, in my opinion. Lindsay Clancy, guys, let's check out Lindsay Clancy. This is a case that you guys asked me to follow. I prefer Sammy Hagar too. How we doing in there? Are we all right in there? I gotta figure out a better way. Like this is really hurting me. Anyway. How we doing? We all right? Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so Lindsay Clancy, as you guys know, yeah. So she took the breath by force out of her children, and then she tried to unalive herself and jumped off the second story, I guess, of her home after doing something to her wrists, you know. And when she landed, she paralyzed herself. So from the waist down, I believe she's a paraplegic. Okay, so this was interesting. So bear with me on this because I got to read it to you. Inside hospital holding wheelchair-bound Lindsay Clancy, where cops are called 1,000 times a year after security scandal. The hospital where Lindsay Clancy has been kept in years since her kids, has been riddled with violence, undrinkable water in recent... The hospital where Lindsay Clancy has been kept in years since she did that. Lindsay, 35, has been held at the Tewksbury State Hospital in Massachusetts since 2023 after she hurt 3 children to death with exercise bands in the basement of her home. Her husband went out to get something to eat, right? Yeah, fucked up. Lindsay Clancy was left in a wheelchair following a spinal injury she suffered after jumping from the bedroom window soon after she did that to her kids. You could see that. Here, listen. Oh, God. I don't know what postpartum depression looks like. I don't know how you go from this to doing that. I don't know. I don't know how you send your husband out to get a meal and he comes home to his family being gone. But I don't think this woman intended on living. I don't know the pain she was going through. I don't know what she thought. But fuck, I would think that somebody noticed something. Again, people that just fucking don't notice shit. Guys, if you have any thoughts that just don't seem right with you, please talk to somebody that you trust that loves you. And if there isn't anybody in the vicinity, call 988. Call 988 and just talk to somebody. Please, please. I mean, some of us get on medication. They have me on like a cholesterol medication. I don't know how my body's going to react to that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, we have to be careful, especially we're older, right? We have to check on ourselves. We have to check on each other. I love when we're talking to each other in the chat and stuff like that, you know, but this shouldn't be your only social time either. And people need to check up on people, you know, especially because we're older. So please. Anyway, Lindsay has been accused of her kids to death with exercise bands. Just absolutely horrific. The fucking hospital look at that. Does that not look intimidating and scary and prehistoric? Lindsay has been held at the Tewksbury State Mental Hospital. I'm sorry, I threw in mental hospital in Massachusetts since May 2023, as her medical providers believe she required extended mental health care. I wouldn't want to work there, no offense. Phil does stuff like that. And he does stuff on the private side of it too, you know. Yeah, I couldn't. I give him a lot of credit. He likes the overnight shift too, and I get that, but still. 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan were found in the basement by Lindsay's now ex-husband Patrick, who was briefly out of the home running errands when that occurred on January 24th. I thought it was January 29th. Last thing I read. I don't know. I thought it said the 29th. Shortly after the unaliving, Lindsay crushed up some medicine, cut herself, and her arms and neck, jumped from her second story. I don't think she wanted to live. I mean, clearly, I don't think she wanted to live. After the fall, she suffered a spine injury that left her paralyzed from the waist down and in a wheelchair. Yeah. Oh, God. I don't know what to say about people like this because they're not right in the head. But again, people had to have seen this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. This is hard. This is really hard to try to understand, you know. After the fall, she suffered a spine injury, left her paralyzed in a wheelchair. As her unaliving trial continues, more details about the immediate medical treatment she received was revealed, including how she suffered a code blue. Okay, well, code blue is she was DEAD. Lindsay was intubated at one point to protect her airway due to the extent of her spinal injuries, and was communicating with her medical team via whiteboards. She was writing on something. Immediately after the unaliving, she was taken to South Shore Hospital, but later transferred to Brigham. And the hospital in Manhattan, I don't know. The hospital has 370 beds and provides comprehensive treatment, care, and comfort to adults with medical and or mental illnesses, according to Massachusetts government or the Massachusetts government, I don't know. The hospital offers a variety of services, including a neurologic rehabilitation unit for those relearning daily functions. What's up, buddy? Services for those with developmental disabilities, psychiatric, psychological, and neurobehavioral care and behavioral challenges. So, yeah, it's basically a mental hospital. I think so. This is okay. The hospital was built in 1854. That fucker's almost 100 years old and was first in an Ames house almshouse before it was converted into a hospital. I don't know what that is. It is now run by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, but in recent years has struggled with overcrowding and dangerous conditions. Yeah, wait till you hear some of this shit with the water and stuff. I don't think that's fair. I bet you a lot of people died in COVID during that time too. I hate to say it. She got there in 2023 though. The Saunders building at Tewksbury State Hospital, where patients receive medical, psychiatric, psychological treatment. It looks prehistoric to me. It looks scary and intimidating. Lindsay seen attending her arraignment on February 7th, 2023. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Several cases, okay, listen to this. Several cases of violence have been reported in recent years, including in August 2021 when a nurse was nearly by a patient because there wasn't enough staff around to subdue the patient. Yeah, well, that's because we fucking suck. A 2023 CBS News report revealed that the Tewksbury Police Department was responding to roughly 1,000 calls for help each year at that hospital. They need more help or get rid of some of the patients. You got to do something. We have to do something. It's a systemic problem. We just keep making more and more people sick and more people criminals. A significant amount of the calls were asking for assistance in locating escaped patients. Oh, that's brilliant. In 2025, the department responded to 26 assaults at the hospital, and the Tewksbury State Hospital Public Safety Department responded to 478 assaults. What the fuck? A report from 2024 from the Boston Globe also revealed that the water at the hospital was rendered undrinkable for years because of magnesium contamination, which made the water brown and taste like metal. Oh, what the fuck? Some of those patients, they won't know the difference. I hate to say it, but I'm sure that was an attitude at times. Absolutely horrible. Executive Office of Health and Human Sources reviewed the Globe, suggested that the incident rate at Tewksbury is similar to other inpatient. That's brilliant. That's what we strive for, to just be as bad as everybody else. More reports of violent encounters emerged earlier in 2026, including a visitor assaulting a pregnant staff member. Isn't that great? A patient allegedly acting erratically, striking a worker. One patient assaulting another with a sharp object. That's called a shank. And a patient hitting a worker in the face twice. Wow, that's brilliant. Why won't they come back to work, and what aren't you paying them enough for? New safety protocols were introduced to the hospital in 2025 to address violent concerns, which appear to be working. What does it keep them in isolation the whole fucking time? Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. Which appeared to be working before the state banned security staff from using handcuffs, batons, and pepper gel on patients. So now they get to fucking just abuse the patients. God help us. Oh, God help us. This is horrible. Guys, I mean, at least if I'm reading the news to you, I'm trying to do it as lighthearted as I can, because this is enough to break your fucking heart. Lindsay Clancy is accused of her children, Cora, and we read that, right? The former labor and delivery nurse does not deny unaliving them, but has pleaded not guilty and claims she was not criminally responsible. I didn't know she was a labor and delivery nurse. So there's plenty of people that should have seen what was going on with her. I mean, she should have had coworkers that had seen what was going on with her. Yes, the former labor does not, but has pleaded not guilty and claims she was not criminally responsible because she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Prosecutors argue Clancy deliberately sent her then husband Patrick out to collect medicine and dinner so she could be left alone with the children. So what? I still don't think she was right in her fucking mind. The trial began with Patrick on the witness stand describing Clancy's declining mental health before recounting how he returned home, found her injured outside, and discovered that the children in the basement were unalived. So he saw it just like the other guy saw it, and they did nothing. That one guy that kept his wife in the camper, right? No offense against campers, God knows. But, I mean, to have more and more kids, Bubba, what do you think? Bubba, all right, I'll give you something. Anyway, her declining mental health. Jurors have since heard his harrowing 911 call, seen the bands that were removed from the children. Oh my God, and viewed their pajamas and other evidence from. Yeah, okay. I don't think she was in right mind. I don't think let her stay in that hospital forever. I don't think she was in right mind. I don't think that hospital is the greatest place though either. Oh my God. So what happens next? Lindsay Clancy's unaliving trial is expected to last between 6 and 8 weeks. It's going on now. I got a little clip of it where the judge is trying to explain something to her. Proceedings are scheduled. This isn't really, yeah, it's what's coming up. You guys can check this out. I have a video to show you. This was absolutely a messed up place. It just goes into over 24 witnesses have been called. Paramedics, firefighters. As the trial continues, the prosecution will argue that Lindsay acted deliberately in killing the kids. Yeah. No. I don't think so. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? On the stand who suffered, I think she was postpartum depression. They were command voices. This is the same stuff you hear from everybody that says that they've gone through this. Hearing a compelling and unrecognizable singular male voice that told her, "This is your last chance." I believe that she heard that shit. I believe she heard that shit. What, did she have a boyfriend? Did she have something to gain? Because after she did it, she tried to end her own. So I don't see where she was supposed to benefit there. I really don't. I really don't. So, no. Reddington's motion was denied. As Judge William Sullivan said, there's not a question of whether postpartum depression psychosis is real or not. It's, did she have it? So, all right. So let's check this out because.
I'll show you what I think. All right, thank you. All right.
Hang on
What
one
we're going to
second.
do at this point,
I want to make sure you guys are still with me. We're almost done. We're almost done. I try to keep them about 2 hours at the most. It's absolutely horrific, right? Right. Okay, so you guys are still with me. I appreciate you guys. I really do.
Clancy, I'm going to, my understanding is that you, through counsel, have offered to stipulate to certain facts that would be introduced during the course of this trial. So what I want to do is just ask you a series of questions to make sure that you understand the effect of stipulating to these facts. So I'm going to just ask you some brief questions at this point, and then we'll kind of go from there. So if you could swear Ms. Clancy in, please.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that you shall make true answers to such questions that shall be put to you this morning.
All right, Ms. Clancy, I have been shown a list or a summary of stipulations. It's been marked as Exhibit or J for identification. So it's my understanding that you are requesting or offering to stipulate to certain facts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And before I accept that, I got to make sure, ask you some questions, make sure that your decision to do so is voluntary and that you understand the consequences. So I'm going to ask you some questions. If at any time you need to speak to Mr. Reddington or you have any questions.
Coworkers too, right? Didn't she have coworkers, friends like that? It is horrible. I know somebody that went through it, but thankfully they had a loving family that recognized it, and the person said,
or had
they
problems.
didn't know what was wrong with them. They didn't understand why they didn't want to hold their child.
Understanding what I'm saying, just let me know, okay? All right. Now, do you understand that the Commonwealth in this case is required to
I'm
prove?
not saying that she should get out, but I don't think that she should be penalized in prison. You know, I think that, you know, yeah, she needs help, but I'm not sure she should be allowed to have kids. Like, that's something. And she certainly shouldn't be around people that have children, in my opinion. But, you know, she needs to, I think she might be fixable. You know what I'm saying? Mackenzie Shirilla, unfixable. Gypsy Rose, sorry, friend, unfixable. And I don't know why I called her friend. I don't know her at all. But I've been covering her for so long. I don't think she's fixable. You know, I agree with Nina and Nina has said this for a while. We talked about it a long time ago. That Gypsy would probably reoffend somehow, some way, on something stupid because she just can't control her impulses, as we know.
Each and every element of the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You understand that there are certain facts that could be introduced during the course of the
Well, they can't be too good, or a lot of people try to get in there too, James.
Trial that would support, might support the Commonwealth's position regarding those elements. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Gotta love the math.
And you understand that by signing the stipulation, you're agreeing.
It's wicked cool. So this is an important part right here.
That the Commonwealth does not have to prove these certain facts that are contained in the stipulation. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. And do you understand by signing or going along with that stipulation, you are basically relieving the Commonwealth of its burden to prove those certain facts. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is that what you want to do at this point?
Yes.
All right. Have you gone over
I don't know, tie-dye. I don't know.
this stipulation or the summary of the stipulations with Attorney Reddington?
Yes, I have.
All right. Need any more time to do that?
No, thank you.
All right. No, by entering into the
I agree. But I don't know that she could have seen out of her own way. You know what I'm saying? The husband said that he knew, you know, that there was some things wrong. If there were other people in her life, how come they didn't notice this? So
this stipulation, you're giving up some important rights. So I kind of want to go over those with you at this time. Do you understand? By law, you're presumed to be innocent of each charge against you, and you do not have to prove your innocence. All right. So instead, at trial, the Commonwealth,
they have to prove that you're guilty.
as I said to you before, has the burden of proving you are guilty of each element of the charges against you. And by entering,
I think this judge is doing a wonderful job trying to explain to make sure that he's covering his ass.
Into this stipulation, you're giving up your right to force the Commonwealth to prove the facts that are contained in these stipulations. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also, at trial, where we are now, you have the right to confront the witnesses that would testify about.
No, and I guarantee you those schools that you're talking about are too much money. Way too much money. They're just way too much money for people here. I mean, people can't afford to feed their kids, clothe their kids. It's unbelievable what's going on here. Like, seriously.
These facts. And by entering into this stipulation, you're giving up that right with respect to these stipulated facts. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also, if you wanted to, could call your own witnesses at the trial to contest these stipulated facts if you want to. You understand?
So all he's doing is going over everything that she could do, and she agrees to everything. She just agrees to everything, and that's the end of that. Now, guys, Anna Kepner.
Oh, wait for the jury. Can I see very briefly?
We're going to cover that real quick. So this is something just came out today, I believe. So let me read this to you. Remember Anna Kepner? Anna Kepner lost her life, unfortunately. She was 18 years old, right? Just 18 years old. Her stepbrother, little fucking bastard, blondie stepbrother, who, no offense, looks like a Mormon, you know, one of those Mormon people that go on missions and knocks on your door, right? Yeah. So he unalived his stepsister after taking advantage of her sexually in a cabin on a cruise ship. The last comment somebody writes here is the one. It's the winner. Okay, guys, let's read about it. TMZ. They got something to say. Anna Kepner, prosecutors hand over her snapshot messages to defense as possible evidence case against alleged murderer brother. stepbrother. The prosecutors who were trying to put Anna Kepner's stepbrother behind bars for unaliving her. Hang on. Hang on. Obtained her Snapchat data from her final days and say they have now handed it over to the defense team, TMZ has learned. Court docs obtained by TMZ show prosecutors fired off a search warrant to obtain Anna's messages and other info from her Snapchat and have now turned it over to the authorities. Let's see. To the defense. The Snapchat messages are important because prosecutors have claimed Anna sent her final messages on Snapchat at 8:14 p.m. The investigators say Anna's brother, Timothy Hudson, that's her stepbrother, who was sharing the room with her, left the cabin at 10:13 and then returned at 11. That's her and her brother. Timothy Hudson, who was sharing the room with her, left the cabin at 10:13 and then returned at 11 p.m. Timothy is facing charges over Anna's unaliving. Prosecutors claim Anna's brother, then unalived her in the cabin, essayed her brutally, and unalived her in the cabin. No consent there. Here's what I love. This is a comment. I absolutely love it. Lock the parents up too. Too cheap to give the girl her own room. Just gross, considering they knew the boy was obsessed with her. I agree. Do you know how many parents this past year we could throw in the joint for neglect and discarding? Do you know that? I just want to know. Guys, this is the last story is David. Are we still together? Are we okay? Gypsy does need Jesus. Gypsy, I'd like to invite you to our church group on Sundays. You can come in. Jamie will give you candy, and your dog could play with Jamie's dog. Parker could, right? I'd love to see you come to our church on Sundays, Gypsy. Seriously. Guys, this is David. Are you going to leave, Stasia? All right. I'm aware, but worth a look. So in reworking the educational system, we are broken in so many places, but everybody has a phone. Yeah, right. You're right.
So here's DA Silverman questioning the detective
This is
about a specific
part 2 from yesterday, and this is pretty interesting stuff. This is the stuff that they found in the bag, I guess, with her in her backpack, and stuff on her phone and messages between the two of them. And this is the last story, and then I just have a real fun thing at the end.
specific text thread. Question. Okay. And the first text that we have here is the victim texting to the defendant currently, and then a misspelling of the word manifesting. My period because I refuse to have kids. Correct? Correct. And then a response from the defendant that says what? Did you miss your date?
I don't think that she was, I don't think she was expecting. That's what I heard, that she wasn't expecting. But I did hear that Siders is expecting. So, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. And at the top of the next
Wasn't
page,
there.
same date, 11:25, 10:16 p.m. What does the defendant say to the victim? He says, you should start tracking. And what about at the text right beneath that? He sends a second message that says, use Flow. Do you know what that refers to? I believe it is a telephone application for women to track their period.
So why does he know all this shit? That's the thing. Like, he fucking knows this shit. He knows what to tell this girl.
He says, I know that's why you should start tracking. And then just beneath that, what does he tell her? And now that it's...
He's probably the one that told her all about the birds and the bees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious.
Ovulation week for you, it's important. And then on the following page, let's jump down to this text here at 10:18 p.m. What does he tell her? I just need to make sure you're on top of your... And is there a response from the victim? Yes. What does she say? She said, if I'm pregnant, though, I'm not having it. Now,
She was 13 years old. Why is she making these type of decisions?
How old is the victim at this time? She had just turned 13 years old 2 months prior. Question by Ms. Silverman. How old is the defendant at the time of those text messages regarding pregnancy and this pregnancy tracker app in November of 2023 when the victim is 13? 18 years old. So based on these text messages, it appears that Celeste...
What's your problem, Sonia? I mean, you've been sitting in the shadows. What's your problem?
Had at least one abortion. Quote, they're talking about a pregnancy. She says, it's okay, though. Don't worry. Neither of us are capable of
make a comment about somebody looking like a Mormon missionary.
Watching and taking care of the baby. It's for the best, no? And does the defendant respond? He does. What does he say? He says, yeah, I know. And a few hours later, also on January 8th, this is at 10:51 in the morning, does the defendant continue the
Sonia had to go. She didn't wave goodbye or anything.
Conversation? He does. What does he say?
I'm going to say it again. He looks like he does. And I said it before. I mean, that's how innocent he looks. You know, or a Jehovah's Witness. He looks like somebody who's trying to sell you God. And in the meantime, look at what he did.
He asks her, when you going to get it done?
That's
and
what
does she respond?
Like.
She does. She says 2 days. And
she needs to go to church then on Sundays.
And after that, does the defendant say anything to her? Yes. He says, also, my mother always told me to ask this question if I ever was in this situation. It's not insinuating anything.
Oh my God, look at what he's saying.
So don't get offended, please. But it is mine, right?
So his mother told him to ask at any time when somebody says they're pregnant, ask, is it yours? No DNA test, just ask, is it yours? Hey, Highland girl. Highland girl. First of all, she was 13 years old. What the fuck? These parents, another set of parents, 2 sets here because
what is her response? Of course it's yours,
parent.
David. Their text messages often refer to something that they call Operation Awesome, or OA, which is apparently their name for her leaving her family and coming to live with him. So at this point, we believe she's 13 and he's now 19.
Where the hell are the parents?
There's a man named Sheldon who was apparently hired to work as personal security for David. And he is mentioned as part of this alleged secret plot to move her to LA. And another person who was apparently aware of David's dealings or parents.
Look at this shit. Look at everybody co-signed this for this guy.
Dealings with a very young girl. And at times, Celeste's messages make it seem like she's nervous or hesitant to actually pull the trigger on it. But David appears to kind of push her. Quote, on February 14th at 2:17 p.m., does the defendant send another text message to the victim? Yes. He says, quote, so explain me what you want to do. I tell Sheldon stop at stop sign and you make multiple trips to car. And does she have a response to that? Yes. What?
That's right. I sing Highland Girl just like that.
Is that? First response is no.
Girl.
Then she follows it up with hell no. JS, just tell him to stop. Just tell him to the stop. And I believe it says sigh, and I believe it's a typo, and she meant sign. Okay. And then the defendant, does he ask her a question about this operation they're planning? Yes. What does he say? He says, so how are you going to carry heavy bag? And what's her response? Her response is, it's not going to be heavy if it's that small. And
this girl is no longer of this earth. She was taken out in a most brutal way. For what? For what, though? Why? Because she was an 11-year-old child when he started brushing her hair. You know what I'm saying, right?
What does he say? He responds, nah, you're supposed to...
She was supposed to fall in love with him, right? She was supposed to think that they were going to have a life together. That's why she gave up everything for him, right? That's why she gave herself, right?
Use the duffel along with whatever you were packing in last time and whatever is shortened to WTV. And I have to say, the text message threads that were shown in court varied from just vulgar to disturbing. For example,
Oh, God, this was a child, man.
Here's more from Detective Farrell. Quote, he says, I'm thinking about your abortion gift.
Oh, God. Yeah. So this is stuff that you guys could hear this stuff. Like, you know how explicit this is. And you know that these things had no business coming from a child. Look at her. Look at her. She was a little girl.
These messages.
Jamie, get yourself a scooter. I've seen those scooters. You could probably get it from the insurance company. Look into it, Jamie, seriously.
And they could make the argument to the jury, do you expect Celeste did something to herself, or David acted in self-defense that he...
No, I believe that David tried to get rid of her and did, because she was going to talk about him, or he thought she was going to. Money makes the world go around and makes people do crazy things.
He had to kill Celeste because she was attacking him, and he had the wherewithal and the quick thinking to come up with texts like this so quickly. Jury, does that make sense to you?
No. I don't think it makes sense to the jury. We already know. We know that he just tried, to be a singer and a songwriter and try to get rid of a BODY. Look, I don't know if he wasn't man enough to get into a relationship with a woman. I mean, she was a little girl. She was a little girl.
Preliminary hearing, it is up to the judge to decide whether a case moves forward.
And we know that the case does move forward. The case
is there enough evidence to support probable cause? The judge announced,
has decided that yes, there is enough.
Scheduled for August 31st, the formal reading of the charges will happen then. I spoke to DA Nathan Ockman last week.
He threw his whole life away because he couldn't control his little pecker.
We know there has been no announcement of the death penalty as of yet. Indicated that his office would be open to hearing a plea offer should David wish to go that route. I am wondering if the death penalty hanging out there is a strategy by the prosecution to get...
Absolutely disgusting, right?
Get David to the plea deal table. We'll see. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts.
Subscribe to me.
Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. You can also check us out on NBC's Peacock as well.
So why does an 11-year-old girl feel so alone, unloved, without personal dreams, that she reaches out for comfort and direct from a stranger, not family, not school, not community? Well, that's not what happened. They kind of reached out to... He was a singer. He was somebody online. And I think he slid into her DMs or something when she was 11. So yeah, my parents pretty much knew what I was doing.
If you want to follow me, X, Instagram, my News Nation show, Jesse Weber Live, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern. See you next time.
Guys, and now here's a few fun things, and we're going to end it. So this is just going to take a second. It's just to make us laugh and smile, and let's see. So I had to take some music out. I had to take some music out of here, but this is Sophie Cunningham, right? Isn't that her name? The basketball player. But this is funny, and I want you just to see how ridiculous this is, because it is ridiculous.
It's clearly a foul by Bonner, but the referees gave Caitlin a technical foul instead. So I walked over and said to the officials, Caitlin got...
So this is Sophie talking, right?
Called, but why didn't Bonner? If Caitlin gets a tech, then Bonner should get one too. You can't...
So she's saying, hey, you fouled one person, but two people deserve the foul. If you're going to foul my teammate, hey, why aren't you going to foul the other person? Buddy, stop. 1 minute. Okay. And so that's what she was saying. And she was pointing to the other, to the opposing teammate that fouled her teammate.
Can't call just one. While I was talking, I was pointing at Bonner. I never expected that gesture to make her so angry. She kept telling me to stop pointing at her. And
so the pointing, she was just pointing, and that was hurting that person.
That's when I did that stupid pointing gesture. I didn't say a single word. I just couldn't help myself. She was losing her mind, and all I was doing was pointing at her. Then
Is that not ridiculous? Seriously, this is what we've come to in this world.
While she was at the free throw line and missed the shot, I did the same stupid gesture again. I honestly couldn't control myself. I never imagined that moment would explode all over the internet, cause such a huge reaction, and eventually become the now viral pointing meme. Now, do you understand? Do you think what I did was stupid?
Do you think what she did was stupid? It annoyed her. She pissed her off just by pointing. Just by pointing. Now, guys, there's some content creators that get really pissed off at me and then take content of mine and do videos on it. There's a couple of them we know, right? So, and I just keep making videos. I don't even pay attention to them. It's almost like this pointing thing. There's nothing going on, but look at how much it pisses somebody off. Check this out. Check it out. I had to do something and take music away, right? This is a different video. Look, it's just pissing her off. Those are two grown women, right? One of them is having a blast just by annoying. The other one, it's really pissing her off. Look, look. They're like children. It's funny. It's funny. They're really tall. And there comes Daddy to stop it all. I thought that was hysterical. And she's still pointing. She's still pointing. It's still annoying her. Just don't look. Why can't the one woman not look at the other woman pointing? Just don't look. She's not casting a spell. Why is that bothering her so much? I found that just to be funny and ridiculous at the same time. Look at oh, God. Look at that. The guy, the ref or coach, whatever, is basically, what can I do? She's not touching her. She's allowed to point. She's not even saying anything. It's almost like getting in your brother's or your sibling's face and saying, look, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. You know, when you were kids. Look at that. But she's so far away. Guys, I'm sorry I lied. This is the last thing I wanted to show you. And this is really important. This is really, really, really important. And we need to remember this. Seriously.
Earlier?
I got this off of the internet. And this is the shit that really matters.
Hi. Were you the ones that took the Red Bull earlier?
So apparently somebody went and took something off this woman's property. A Red Bull.
Yes, and they are here to apologize. And if they need to, work it off, or I'm going to replace it.
No, it's fine. You know, it's not that big of a deal, but just please don't do that again. If you want something, you can knock and we'll give it to you. It's no problem.
So here's this woman saying, hey, just knock next time. We'll give you what you want.
Yeah, and well, here, y'all talk.
Yes.
We're very sorry for stealing it. We shouldn't have done it. We weren't thinking.
I appreciate your apology. Thank you.
This one is mine. I live down the street. This is my nephew. If you ever see them, please, I am not raising my child to be like that.
That's a mama.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
I'm highly pissed off at him. But I'm very sorry.
We have a lot in common, huh, Grace? We're watching the good stuff.
Of course. Thank you guys for coming back.
We appreciate it.
So when I don't think there's hope, there's a little bit of hope in it.
You too.
So I thought that said a lot. I thought that said a lot. And that was to you guys. I wanted to thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. It's been a little over 2 hours. I try to keep it to an hour and a half. I think that's best. We just had a lot of stuff to cover. That news story was something that was, I knew was going to blow us away. But I had something about Kurt Cobain that I wanted to share, and I don't know what happened with that. I'll put that up for tomorrow. Okay. Guys, I thank you so much. And as always, thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. So I hope you guys are having a good time with it. And thank you for sending me the stuff that you send me. I appreciate that as well. And as always, be better today than you were yesterday and not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you so much. Be great. Thank you.